in Childersburg. For pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. 256-245-4361. The North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel right off Highway 280 in Childersburg. For pre-need, at-need funeral services, funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Herman Sherrill, age 85, of Sylacauga, died Friday. Graveside service for Mr. Sherrill will be held Friday at 1 o'clock from Green Hill Memorial Gardens in Childersburg. Fond memories and expressions of sympathy may be shared at curtisandsonfh.com for the Sherrill family. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel directing. Funeral service for Barbara Ann Reeves, age 74, of Sylacauga, will also be this week on Wednesday at 2 p.m. from Radley Smith Funeral Home Chapel, with Minister Doris McClellan officiating. Burial in the Tallahatchie Cemetery in Alpine. Ms. Reeves died April 23rd at her residence. Visitation is Wednesday, noon until 2 o'clock at the funeral home, Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. In other obituary news this morning, Jackie F. Stevens, age 86, of Talladega, died Saturday at his residence. Funeral service for Mr. Stevens will be 2 o'clock Wednesday at Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega, with burial in the Bethel United Methodist Church Cemetery in Munford. Don Barnett will officiate the service. The family receiving friends prior to the service, 1 until 2 at the funeral home. Mr. Stevens, I should say, was a graduate of Munford High School and attended Jack State University. He was a real estate broker and established Stevens Real Estate and Stevens Carpet back in 1968. He was a Alabama National Guard veteran and a member of the Trinity United Methodist Church, where he served on the administrative board. Trinity Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega will direct the service. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Detrolia Garrett, age 83, died April 24th. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary will announce the funeral arrangements. Funeral service for Willie L. Whetstone is this morning at 11 a.m. from New Beginnings Ministries in Sylacauga on Main Avenue. Burial in the Macedonia Cemetery of Goodwater. Community Funeral Home Sylacauga in charge of the arrangements. And funeral service for Timothy Patterson of Rockford is 1 o'clock today at New Home Baptist Church, with interment in the church cemetery. Visitation was held yesterday. Wright's Funeral Home in Alexander City in charge of the arrangements. And funeral service for Joey Michelle Cobb of Sylacauga. That visitation will be tomorrow from 1:30 until 3 o'clock at Curtis & Son North. And then the funeral service at 3 o'clock from the North Chapel, with burial in the Evergreen Cemetery of Sylacauga. Online condolences at curtisandsonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. This obituary report this morning brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. For pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.